Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Morning Show with your hosts, Wayne and Gabby.
Good morning.
Good morning, real estate investors. Welcome to the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show. On today's show, we're going to take it in a bit of a different direction. We're not going to talk about real estate investing at all. We're going to talk about why you're not real estate investing.
What?
Or we're going to talk about why it is that it's so hard to become a new real estate investor. Even if you, maybe money's not the problem. Maybe mortgages isn't the problem. Maybe it's not a matter of knowing where the good deals are and where the bad deals are. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something deeper. Maybe there's something else that's preventing you from moving forward with this. Maybe it's people. Maybe it's people in your life that are affecting you. Maybe it's people that are indirectly affecting you. Perhaps it's your friends. Perhaps it's your family. It could be so many different people. It could be your pharmacist.
Maybe your coworkers.
And so we're going to be diving into that because I think this is a really important discussion because I've worked with well over 1,000 real estate investors across Canada, and I know exactly. Well, I've heard a lot of stories. I've heard a lot of reasons. I've heard a lot of excuses, and there's a very, very, very common reason or excuse, whichever you want to call it, for why people don't actually follow through on the things that they say they're going to do. And that is the judgment and concern and fear of what other people think or what other people are saying. And I think that this is something that we need to highlight and we need to spend a little bit of time on for today's episode because too many people, too many great people, smart people, lovely people are getting affected by this. And because of this, they're not actually following through on their hopes and their dreams and their journeys.
Yeah. Wayne, I think that this might end up being one of our most relatable podcasts we have ever done. I think that I don't think anybody is untouched from the impact of what we're going to speak about today. And I'm excited because this is something that I love to dig into. In fact, when you told me that you wanted to talk about it, mine, I don't know if you can see, but like my notes,
crap.
I started on the other page as well, but you said we needed to start the podcast, so I stopped. But
Holy shit.
I have a lot to say. So we'll see if you let me talk. I'm just
joking. Don't let me hold you back.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious, that is a wow.
Yes.
Lots to say about it. I mean, because again, all of us, it is going to be
relatable.
It's
just relatable.
All of us got that uncle. All of us got that cousin. All of us got that brother or that sister. That just got the little fucking things that they like to say. You know what I mean? That get in your head.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, maybe even worse. Maybe it's what they're not saying. Maybe it's what you think that they're saying.
Yeah.
They could be saying. Oh
my
gosh.
You just cracked open a whole other like rabbit hole.
Another page full of notes?
Another page full.
Oh, Francis, do you have anyone in your life that's getting in the way of or impeding on your success? Feel free to let us know. I see you there in the live show there. We are broadcasting live on YouTube right now. If you guys want to join, just look up the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show on YouTube or go directly to my channel, Wayne Hillier, and you'll be able to find the show. We broadcast the show live every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. You can come and join and be a part of the conversation. You could talk about your shitty uncle as well. Don't worry, I won't tell him. Don't worry. This is a safe space.
We won't say your name.
Except for Francis. Like son of a... I didn't say the last name. But yeah, it's you can come and join us live on the show. I mean, obviously, so many of you guys are listening to the recorded podcast episodes, the recordings that go out afterwards on Spotify and iTunes. And thank you guys so much. Don't forget to go and leave a review and subscribe to those channels. But we love having you guys here in the morning with us live on YouTube because we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what your thoughts are. We want your input. And then, lastly, one of the other great perks and benefits, incentives. It's topical. Yesterday's episode, right?
Hell
incentives.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
One of the other incentives that we offer for joining us live and being our friends is...
2 for the price of 1. Sorry. Go ahead.
is we also offer free coaching.
Yes, we do.
Every weekday morning for real estate investors. The only free coaching in Canada every weekday morning. All you got to do is just join us at 7 a.m. and bring your questions, and we will answer any questions you have related to negative folks or real estate investing that you have, and we'll answer it for free. Mm-hmm. Additionally, if for whatever reason you can't make it live, and we understand you got a job, you got kids, you got things that are holding you back, you can also email in your questions. We're not going to let that be the reason why we can't help you or why you can't get the answers to your questions. You can email your questions in as well to info@reimorningshow.com. Send those questions in. We'll answer them. We have a few questions that are actually sitting in the inbox that we still haven't answered yet. But again, I thought today's topic would be way more valuable, way more important, because, you know that we're coaches. We coach real estate investors. We have a great mentorship program called the REI Masters Mentorship Program. So we not only work with people, on one-off coaching calls. You can book coaching calls on our website and just do a 1 hour. We also have students that we work with for 12 months. And so from the moment that they join, we get them into education, we get them the fundamentals, we get them the courses, any courses that they want to learn about. We have workshops on everything, agreements for sale, rent to own, fix and flips, BRRRR strategy, multifamily, you name it. We teach everything. We have courses for everything. We teach everything. But as we're getting through all that education, as our students are learning about it and mastering their craft and their expertise, that's typically when we start to see the cracks in the plan, or that's typically when we start seeing the speed bumps. Whereas, you know everything you need to know. You know exactly how to do it. The path is clear, but for some reason, the path is not so clear. There just seems to be a stick on the path, or a stick on the trail. You know what I mean? That you got to step over. And sometimes it's easy enough to step over. Sometimes it might be a log and you got to jump over it. And then sometimes, it might be completely washed out from a mudslide or a rock slide. And I see so many of our students getting to that point where they're just like almost paralyzed, mm-hmm. because they can't move forward because they're afraid of what someone's going to say, or someone said something and it's affecting them and being able to do what they need to do. And we just had, just in the last couple of months, I can remember off the top of my head three students in our mentorship program where I had to stop everything we were doing about education, everything we were doing about real estate investing, to focus on this topic. How negative people in their life that are preventing them from doing what they need to do. Mm-hmm. And I know that one of our live listeners, I don't know if they are here today at this moment yet, but they will be here. You know who I'm talking about. You know who you are. I know that this was an issue for you as well. And it's terrible. Yeah.
I was going to say, I can think of more than just one live listener, one student who's experiencing this right now. So yeah. And then you just know, like, as I said earlier, those are just, the people directly in our mentorship program that we are working with, that we know are dealing with this. We also can assume quite confidently that there's so many more of you that are feeling this every single day as you're trying to get your wheels going and established and gaining some momentum in this industry.
Well, Stuart's here on in the live chat on YouTube, and he says, "Is it me?" And Stuart, you're not in our mentorship program, not yet, at least. If you'd like to join, just reach out. I mean, you seem like a pretty decent person. I don't know you all that. Maybe I do know Stuart, and I just don't know. Maybe I can't put the name together. Maybe the last name. But Stuart, we'd love to have you in the mentorship program. We think you'd be a great fit, just based off of the conversations we've been having and the back and forth in the morning and joining us in the live show. But you're not in the mentorship program yet, so I'm not talking about you specifically. But perhaps it is you. I mean, is there something that's preventing you from moving forward? Is there someone that's getting in the way, other than the Prime Minister? I haven't read your whole comment yet, but other than the Prime Minister, because I don't think that Carney's calling you up and like prank calling you, because you bought a shitty multifamily building.
In fact,
how's that thing going over there?
In fact, he might want you to.
I actually think that, in fact, I would say both of the Liberal governments, the current and the previous, actually wanted people to invest in real estate.
Yeah.
They actually want to solve the housing affordability issues and rental affording issues. So I would argue that they're actually on your side on this one, which is so incredibly funny. Because it's a tough one to argue. They did throw $5.2 billion at it. How they did it, can be argued whether it was correct or was the best move. To be honest with you, I've talked about this before, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I don't know how else it could have been done. I'm a pretty smart fucking guy, and I'm very good at solving problems. If I had $5 billion to throw at a problem, I don't know exactly how I would do it, because there are channels that you need to go through, from federal to provincial to municipal, and all the little hoops and whatnot you need to go through in order to make it right. But you can't just give people money. It doesn't work like that. If we could just give people money and solve problems, there would be no homelessness. Topic for another day. One that I do not want to have, actually. Let's just cross that idea out. But back to it. Other than Carney, is there anybody else in your life that's... Or is it just smooth sailing for you? Because if it is, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's awesome. One less problem. One less thing to deal with. But I'm telling you right now, the amount of people that I talk to, and I explain to them, explain to me how to do it. Come on, smart guy. Show me how to do it. And I'll explain it very simply. Oh, yeah, I can't do that because of this. Are you kidding me right now? Right?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's the reason? Because your brother rents? Let's just talk about that. There are people that I know that don't like that I own properties because they can't afford to buy a home. There are people that I know that do not like the fact that I am doing so well, that I raise money for my deals, that I have built a huge real estate portfolio across Alberta, that I'm doing so well. They don't think that it's right because they can't afford a home. I went from being 21 years old, living in my grandmother's basement, working less than 40 hours at a gas station, to moving across the country, to creating a better life for myself. I took a U-Haul, filled a U-Haul with all friends and family, furniture, and said, I'm just going to go and get away from everybody else, because there was a lot of negative people in my life. A lot of negative people in my life. And up until that point, I'd made terrible decisions. I was 20. I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I wasn't capable of making strong decisions. So everything that everybody said was correct, more or less. But I made the decision to get away from all of those people and just start from scratch on my own. No negativity whatsoever in my life. And I moved across the country. Okay? I had no prospects. I had no money. I had no opportunities whatsoever other than the ones that I created. But I fucking created them. I moved across the country and I started from scratch. Within a couple weeks, I actually got extremely lucky. I moved into a townhouse that happened to be right across the path from this beautiful lady. So the fact that I actually took that step, the fact that I actually stepped outside of my comfort zone, it created an opportunity for me to meet my wife. It created an opportunity for me to get a job with a company, which gave me further opportunities to grow in that company, which I then got a trades ticket, which I then, within a couple years, actually was making twice as much money as what I was making before, because now I was a certified ticketed professional. And as I started making that money, I realized, oh my gosh, I don't want to be like everybody else here who just makes more money and spends more money, right? So I made the decision that I was going to learn about how to invest my money. I made the decision that I wasn't going to be like everybody else who just makes more money and then spends more money, gets a bigger house, gets a bigger car, you know what I mean? Faster car. And I wanted to make sure that I actually was smart about my money, and I started investing in it. So I started doing research. I started talking to people. I started sharing what I was thinking with other people. And because I was talking about it with other people, I met people and they shared what they did with me. And then through that, I learned everything about real estate investing. And then I went down that rabbit hole. I've been doing it ever since I was 23, 24 years old. Okay, it was every decision that I made up until that moment. But I didn't start with a ton of money. I just made good decisions for me in my life because I wanted to better my life. I wanted to better my family's, my wife's life, my future kids. I want to leave something behind. Good decisions. And I've done that. I've done that in an honorable way. My whole business, my whole portfolio, everything has always been focused around win-win. I do not want to make money unless I'm helping others. I do not want to make money while stepping over or stepping on other people. So how dare someone say that it's not right that I own real estate when I'm doing it in the most ethical and honorable way possible? The reason why those people are angry is because they're jealous. They're jealous of the whole point, or the whole thought, just the fact that they didn't make better decisions with their life that led them to this moment where they haven't been able to save for a down payment. They haven't been able to go to a mortgage broker and actually qualify for a mortgage for the type of property that they want. That's not me. That's their limitations based off of the decisions that they made in their life. I was making less than $40 an hour, less than 40 hours a week, making $16 an hour at a gas station. One dumb comment away from being fired every week. I started in the exact same spot that most people start in. I did not have an education. I did not have, I didn't go to college or university. I did, but I didn't go. Right? But I made smart decisions to get myself out of that position. And everybody else has the same opportunities and capabilities of being able to do that themselves. So I don't listen to people that complain about the fact that I'm doing better and that's not fair. It's not fair. No, it's not fair. You can't blame other people. It's your own fault for not making better decisions. So I don't let people like that impact me.
Yeah.
I don't let people like that have an effect on me. Because it's not my fault for the position that other people are in. Life is full of decisions. You get to make those decisions, but then you have to live with them. Quit complaining about why your life sucks so much and do something about it. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I deal with on the regular. I was just going through TikTok comments this morning. Jesus Christ, that place is a terrible place to be. Everyone angry that things aren't more affordable. That's not my fault. Everybody has the same opportunities. But yeah, but it's not fair because I can't buy a house. Go save your money. I can't. Go make more money. I can't. Why? I can't. Right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of negativity around that. A lot of negativity around people succeeding.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it has to do with jealousy.
Yeah. I think that there is that. I think that there is the aspect of jealousy that comes in sometimes in these situations that, it's where the negativity is coming from a place of jealousy. But I also think that for the most part, and I think for most of us, the people who are impacting us aren't bad people. A lot of time it's, the people that we love. It's the people, it's our family, it's our friends that, we've known forever. It's our coworkers. It's people around us that are otherwise a great influence and really loving and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think it always comes from a bad place.
Yeah.
I think sometimes there is that jealousy, but a lot of the time they're trying to protect you.
That's fair. That's fair.
Sometimes it's a projection of their own fears. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not that they don't think you're capable, it's that they're scared and they're scared for you, right?
Interesting.
Sometimes it might be that they're justifying why they aren't doing it or can't do it or won't do it. It's like a justification, right?
Yeah.
So it's not always that they're just like, oh, he went on and did this and, who does he think he is? And, that kind of stuff. Sometimes it is jealousy because, just because we're family doesn't always mean that, that they're the most loving people and that they want the absolute best for us. Families come with different dynamics and stuff. So it's not always that. But I think a lot of the time, what we're dealing with is people who just really, really deeply care about us and don't want anything bad to happen to us. And I think that's really relatable for a lot of people because we see it over and over again in our program, in our mentorship program, is that's what a lot of people are up against.
Yeah. Well, I'd say family is probably the most difficult to deal with because, they're your family. You only got one, and you don't get to choose your family. And you did say that, in a lot of cases that family is, they care about you. And I think there's different types of family members. Some of them,
there's different dynamics.
And,
sure.
and the way that they project that can sometimes be in a positive way and also in a negative way. We've all got that, that aunt or that great aunt or whatever. That's, there's the people that are, think of sweet grandma being like, when the way that your grandfather and we always were raised was that we were told to pay off your house and get rid of that debt because you don't want that kind of debt in your life, and you don't ever want to be in a position where you can't make your payments and then the bank or the government comes and takes your house, sweetheart. So it's, why don't you just pay off your house first and then you can go and maybe invest some of your money. That's grandma's approach.
This is exactly what Carmen's saying in the comments here.
But then you've also got that catty old aunt who does care about you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They definitely do care about you, but they care about you in a much weirder, more supportive, less supportive way. And that's, I gotta be honest with you. You think buying houses is the way to do it. I just don't think it's a good idea. No, because what happens when you lose the house, huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with this? I don't think he should. To be honest with you, Janine, I think he's gonna lose all of his money, and I don't want to see that happen. Yeah, no. And then they're over there at the picnic, and they're fucking bickering about you when you're off playing frisbee with the kids. You know what I mean? No, it's a terrible idea. I actually seen that type of stuff, and then you hear that Janine and Aunt Ruth or whichever was talking about you at the picnic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's different types of family members, and then they care in different ways, but the way they project it is a little bit different. But either way, sweet old grandma who sits you down and talks to you in a loving way, and she's been always your biggest supporter, can have just as much of an impact on whether you do what you need to do or not as Aunt Janine and Aunt Ruth, who are bitching and complaining about you, talking about you behind your back.
Yeah.
Right? They can both have the same level of impact.
Yeah.
Which can be crippling and paralyzing for you if you're just trying to do what's right for you and your family.
Yeah. So Wayne, there's this, I guess I'll call it a quote, but there's something that I read that I think fits in perfectly here, especially talking about the different types of people and how they can impact you and their approach to it. And so it's negative people rarely stop your success directly. They stop it indirectly by causing doubt, hesitation, fear, and inaction. Okay? So they rarely stop it directly. They just fill you over time with doubts, fears, hesitations, till eventually you're in a spot where you're no longer taking action. And I think that maybe we can take a break and come back and talk about how we can stop this from happening to our listeners.
Well, what do you do about it?
What do you do about it?
What do you do? Because some people can be avoided, but others can't. And the one thing we know for sure about negative people in our life is that there's always going to be more. There's plenty, and they're never going away. Each and every one of you guys is going to deal with this, and how you deal with this will really determine whether you succeed or do not succeed in real estate investing or in business or in life, right? So how you deal with them is really important. It's not about trying to fix them, because they're not going to change. And even if you can change them or fix them, somebody else is going to be right behind them, right?
Yeah.
There's always someone right behind them. So because of that, we have to figure out how to deal with them on a regular basis, so that way it doesn't impede on our success. So when we come back from the break, that's what we're going to be talking about. We'll be right back.
Real estate investors need to treat debt differently than homeowners, and at Kirkland and Brennan Mortgage Group, we understand that. For the last 11 years, we've helped real estate investors plan and build their portfolios. We understand how to help you avoid fees, penalties, getting yourself stuck, and making sure that the deal you're doing today doesn't stop the deal you want to do tomorrow. You can reach out to Keaton, Keaton, at kbmortgages.ca. Put plan on the subject line, and we'll help you build a plan and then realize it for your real estate goals. We also coordinate with the other professionals like your accountant, lawyer, realtor, and we will help you build your portfolio. So reach out. We'll do our best to help. Thanks, guys.
You've got showings, lease signings, suite renos, condo board meetings, credit checks, mortgage financing, and every so often the tenant clogs the sink because they shoved macaroni down there. Stop. Breathe. Leave the bookkeeping to Fingo. Fingo is specialized real estate bookkeeping by real estate investors with tailored services for maximum returns. Save time. Enhance your returns. Claim the plumbing repair for that ridiculous macaroni fiasco. Book your free consultation at fingo.com.
Summer. While everyone's getting distracted, this is when the market gets quiet. Not because the opportunities disappear, but because the people do. Vacations, long weekends, these are the distractions I'm talking about. And that's exactly when serious investors make their moves. At Calvin Realty, this is one of our favorite windows. Less competition, more flexibility, and sellers who are actually open to negotiating. While everyone else is stepping away, we're stepping in. If you're looking to buy right, not just buy fast, this is your edge. Calvin Realty. Opportunity doesn't take time off.
And we are back. I see Carmen says, I have people come to me and can't understand how I am not concerned about the debt in mortgages that I have and why I'm not worried about it. Oh God, that's a terrible one, because you know what that is? They just don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't understand how debt, equity, and real estate values work. But and you know what? We did a great episode on explaining what equity is and what debt is a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
If you could find that episode, I highly recommend sharing that with them, right? Or maybe perhaps, and this is just some free coaching here, but maybe perhaps instead talking about that episode and maybe writing, a post about it and sharing that you read about this or you listened to this, and then here's your thoughts around it and here's why, right? So sometimes that's why I do this as well. It's not just to help you guys, but it's also to help you help others, right? Share this, talk about it, share the podcast, take an excerpt from it and share it with someone, or talk about how you listen to it and tether to my credibility so that it actually adds a little bit more credibility to it, rather than just your thoughts. Because here's the thing, is that people, family, friends, even though you're right, they won't give you any credibility because they still know you as little Jimmy who shit his pants at the picnic when you were 5, right? They're never going to give you credibility because they've known you for so long. They knew you for who you were before, and they're unwilling to accept you for who you are today, right? And so I want to go back to that quote that Gabby shared before, the break there, because I really did thoroughly enjoy that. And I saw Carmen also said 100% right, Gab. It's not always about what it is that they're doing directly. A lot of times is what they're doing indirectly. And do you want to share some examples of how perhaps
Yeah,
people
well,
are affecting us indirectly?
yeah, well, actually, like so when I read that, it actually brought me right back to when you and I, Wayne, were just starting out investing. And I actually didn't have any family like living close by in Alberta. Wayne and I were kind of like on our own little island here. All of our families were in different provinces. And so a lot of the people around me were just my coworkers. And a couple of friends from previous lives, from roller derby and from, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it was mainly, I spent most of my time with my working family, with my coworkers. And so I remember you one day had said, read this book, we're going to be investing in real estate. And then we started to kind of like, get into it and talk about owning rental properties and all that kind of stuff. And so naturally, when you're learning about something, you want to talk about it, right? Oh my gosh, I learned this new thing. It's so cool. Or like these, oh my God, this, what a way
You're
to set
excited.
it. Yeah, you get excited about it.
You found something new that you really love.
Yeah.
And you want to share it with others.
Yeah.
And that's normal. I think that's a perfectly normal reaction for most of us to have. And I know so many of you guys as well that are so excited about everything as you're doing. And maybe you learned something, on yesterday's podcast about incentives. Maybe you thought, oh, wow, Nidos. Nidos is a great idea. I'm going to share this with somebody. I'm going to use Nidos. And then you want to share it with somebody else, right? And maybe it doesn't necessarily go as you expected.
Yeah. And so in my case, I was hearing from my coworkers a lot of the, like, at first it was like, oh, like, yeah. But then it's like, well, but what about this? And what about that? And
oh, you mean like the negative things?
The negative things, like instantly it was like they can tell that they want to be happy for you because you're excited about something, but they also started talking about tenants trashing the place, about like, can you guys afford to replace a furnace or a roof? Like all of the things that they think you should be considering as if we hadn't, but like that you should really think about and that maybe should prevent you from doing this, right?
Right.
And again, coming from a place of love and of wanting the best for you. But me as a very young, I'm going to say fragile because I was a lot more fragile at that point in my life. That is what started my journey, full of fear and riddled with anxiety.
Right.
And, thinking about all those things like, oh my God, what if they do trash it? Or what if, this happens? Or what if that happens? And Wayne, first person, that those fears were very real in me. Like they instilled those deep in me.
Right.
And we actually had to talk about all of those worst case scenarios in depth and how we'd be protected from them and how we would get through them in order to make me feel comfortable moving forward, because all of these external people's own fears were projected onto me and made me feel less than confident about what we were doing. Mm-hmm. I started out with confidence and excitement, and then it was like I was like beat down into like this little like shell of fear around the whole thing.
Can I just say, and I apologize for the children listening, can I just say fuck you to everybody that does that?
Yeah.
Because my poor Gabby here was so confident in herself, was so full of hope and promise, and she was excited. And you fuckers went and completely pulled the rug on her. Completely pulled the rug on her. I mean, why can't people just be supportive? Why can't people just say, wow, that's a great idea? Why can't we have people like that in our life? Why can't each and every one of you guys be like that for everybody else? Because I'm sure that even though we don't think that we are, we also do that with other people too. And I catch myself doing it all the time. I catch myself doing it all the time, and I have to stop, and especially with my daughter. And I try not to be that person as a father. I try not to be the person that says, well, you shouldn't do that because of this. Because, I mean, truthfully, I do know more than my daughter. It's my responsibility to protect her. But think about every time that you've had a really great idea or you've really been excited about something and you went and told somebody, and rather than them being like, yeah, that's amazing, You said, oh, have you thought about this? Even though you think you're doing the right thing, even though you are being helpful and pointing out really good points, what you just did is you just crippled their excitement. You just crippled their hope. And you took them from here down to here. We need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing that in every situation. What we need to be is just supportive people. They're going to figure it out on their own. But what they're looking for from you, and what we're looking for from others when we share this, is we're looking for someone to give us a high five. We're looking for someone to share this moment with. We are not looking for criticism. We are not looking for the negatives.
Yeah.
We're looking for a hug and a high five.
Yeah.
And fuck you guys for doing that to my wife, because
Yeah.
that was years and years and years of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And lack of confidence.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And there's something really important that like I've learned later in my life, mostly actually from being on the opposite end of it, but I've really then implemented in who I am, is that unless somebody comes to you and is specifically asking for your thoughts or your advice, do not give it. Mm-hmm. If somebody is just sharing with you, allow them to share and hold space for whatever they're sharing. Unless they are asking what you think or asking for advice, do not give it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I learned that mainly in becoming a mother and realizing how many people want to tell you how to do everything and what you should do and what you shouldn't do and all those types of things. So it was entering into motherhood where that became so clear to me. But then also it's very much in this real estate investing journey. And I think that other people really view the world through their own experiences. I think that we can say that for certain in this world and in the society, and especially in today's space that we're in, is that people view the world through their own experiences and through misguided opinions. Okay. And somebody who has never owned a property before is always going to think of all of the negatives around it. They're going to think about the bad tenants. They're going to think about people not paying rent. They're going to think about your place getting trashed. Mm-hmm. They're going to think about the roof needing to be replaced. Mm-hmm. All these like really high expenses. They're going to think about all the negative things that can come with it and try to prepare you for them, or right. Have you thought about this? And it's almost like they want to come in and do like give you the worst case scenarios and make sure that you've really thought about all this before you move forward.
I think the people just want to sound fucking smart or look smart.
Yeah.
I think the people just want to be right. And I just did it to you right there, and I apologize. I did it. It's a great example of what I did there. It was because I didn't even let you finish saying what you're saying. I wanted to get in what I wanted to say really quickly.
To sound smart?
To sound smart. Not even to sound smart, but I wanted to get my comment in because I thought, oh, this is valuable. I want to get it in. And you know what I did? I thought you were done your sentence, and I tripped over your last 3 words. I didn't even wait till she was done her last one in the sentence. I did it 3 words before she was done her sentence because I had to get my word in. And I'm terrible for it. Well, look how fucking polite she is. She's waiting. She knows that I'm never going to stop. She knows that I got a line after every line that I can keep going and going and going. And she's so patient, even though I know that you have some things that you want to say that are valuable as well.
Are you done? Just kidding. That was on purpose.
That's human nature.
Yeah, for sure.
And well, maybe that's a good point. Maybe that's something that we really need to highlight here is that I don't think that anyone's doing anything on purpose. I think that that's just who we are, and that's how we are raised and how we are trained to communicate as people, as humans. And I think that we are replicating and we are emulating what other people have done before us and how we learned how to talk. Our parents, our friends, our teachers, our mentors, our scholars, everyone that we've ever been encountered with on a social level, mm-hmm. We have learned how to communicate with them. And what we're doing is we are replicating what they did. Yeah. And over and over and over and over again. And the only way that I think that we can change this, how you can change this and how you do it, is to take note of this, acknowledge it, and make an effort to change how you communicate with people.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that I think that if we want to talk about like, you know, how we can, what was the verbiage that you used on like breaking free from this? What did you say before the break?
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but it was really good, and I wanted to come back to it in kind of like segue into ways in which we can handle this or deal with this, or see, I have really bad vocabulary at the moment.
I got you.
Thank you.
Because ultimately, you know what I was saying a second ago about how we can make an effort to change ourselves in the way that we react socially to other people. What we can't do is we can't change other people.
Oh, other people, yeah.
We can't tell people what to do. We can't change who they are, right? And even if we did tell them and educated them on how they could be more supportive, the likelihood of them actually changing is very, very, very low. So if the only thing that we can do, if we want to focus on what we can control and ignoring the things that we can't control, we can focus on what we do and how we support people on a social level. And then if we are accepting people for who they are, then we have a decision to make. We either stick with them and endure. We accept them for who they are and what they do to us and how they treat us and how they are not supportive. And hopefully, we're able to overcome that. Hopefully, it's a branch in the path as opposed to a complete mudslide. Because if it's a branch, we can just step over it. Yeah, it's impedance. Yeah, it's in my way, but it's something I can just walk over. It's not a big deal. A mudslide is something that's going to stop you in your tracks, and we don't want that. Okay? If it's a stick in the path, we can step over it, right? But if it's a mudslide for you and it completely washes the whole trail out, then you're going to have to come up with something else. And what you might end up having to do is go a different way. You might have to avoid them altogether.
Yeah. This
is a touchy subject, though.
But what if before, I mean, that's an extreme, right? That's a mudslide, which results in avoidance. But what if we take it back to that just being the stick that we need to step over? And maybe you're the type of person who can just handle the kind of like negative comments that are coming at you, and you're able to just kind of like brush them off. You're like, it's okay, I got this. I'm so determined that they're not going to bug me. But maybe it is starting to get to you, and maybe you're noticing that it is impacting your journey and your ability to move forward with it. And maybe it just starts with something like limiting exposure.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I like that. I like the fact that rather than just completely cutting your arm off, let's say, for example, you got a paper cut. Wayne says to cut your arm off.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I over-exaggerated.
That we're not going to make it. We got to take that arm off.
Maybe I over-exaggerated a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it could be as simple as just putting a Band-Aid on it for start.
Yeah.
Next step, cut the finger off altogether. If you're waking up every day and you're getting a paper cut every single day over and over and over again, well, maybe you can avoid paper, right? That would be maybe you would get maybe one of those little finger condoms or something like that. Is that what they call them? I love it. They call them finger condoms.
Yes.
I think it's hilarious. Or perhaps the next step would be cutting off that finger. You know what I mean? There's a few steps. You don't necessarily have to go to cutting off the arm or the finger right out of the gate.
Yeah.
You can see if there's ways of avoiding them first. And I like that. I like
maybe
I over-exagerated and I got a little off track on that. But
and I don't even like the word avoid. I don't even like saying avoiding. I think limiting exposure.
Limiting your time and exposure.
Well,
with
limiting your time that you're spending with people who are having a very negative impact on what you're trying to do.
Okay.
But also I think along with limiting exposure to the negativity, and which might only be for a period of time, by the way. We're not saying like for the rest of your life, you're going to see Auntie Louise, twice a year instead of every Friday for family dinner.
Right.
Right. It's just for a point of time while you establish what you're doing. But along with limiting exposure, maybe we can also, at the same time, be building relationships around you that are supportive. And that could be, like really immersing yourself in like the real estate investing community, finding other people who are doing what you're doing, going out and networking.
You mean creating new circles?
Creating new circles where people are going to go, oh my God, yes, I'm doing that too. Let's, support each other. Or like, yes, that's such a good idea. That's how I built my wealth.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like people who are encouraging, who are saying, yes, I've been there. I've done that. Yes, you can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While simultaneously taking a step back and limiting the negativity that's going, but have you thought about this? And have you thought about that? And what if this happens? And I really don't think you should be doing this. Like, just putting a pause on that for a moment. Right?
Well, I really like what Josh said here on the live show on YouTube. He said that you can also try to be selective about who you discuss what with. And this is a great solution for that problem there, is that maybe you continue to hold that circle of supportive people in your life, but you just don't talk about you and your business and what you're doing or this particular thing that you're doing with them. And you just keep it surface level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just kind of focus on other things with them.
Yeah.
And
you can
that's what that
redirect
support circle's for. But then your other circle is for support in business and growth.
Yeah. And you can redirect conversation. See, I tried to cut you off there.
That's okay.
You can redirect conversation.
We have so much we want to say.
As well. So if they're continuously trying to dig in and to go down that with you, you can redirect it and change the topic, even if it's blunt. Eventually, I think they'll get the point that you're not open to discussing it anymore, right? Those are called boundaries, right? Setting boundaries on what you're willing to discuss with somebody and where places in your life that you're not allowing them to go. You're like, that's out of bounds for you.
Yeah.
We're not going there. But let's talk about little Joey's baseball game on Saturday. It was so much fun. Scored a home run. In the comments here, Josh says, having the REI Masters community for like-minded individuals is wonderful and powerful.
That's one of the, the things that one of the major values in joining our mentorship program is obviously you're getting the education and you're getting, us, the exclusive access to us to ask questions any time of day and be able to look over your deals and provide support with contracts and things like that. But one of the other big parts of it is the community that we create. And I'm very, very selective in the people that I will work with in our mentorship program, because I know that what we're also doing is we're creating a group, a community of people, and negative people have no business or are not invited to be a part of our community. Because I don't want one negative person can completely ruin the whole dynamic of the whole group. And it can actually, what it can do is that in a space that we've created where people can feel comfortable in asking questions and being vulnerable, one negative person can actually ruin that for everybody, where people will not feel comfortable stepping up and being vulnerable and asking questions and talking about what it is that they're working on. So it's very super important. And we take a lot of pride in the community that we've created, because it is hands down the most supportive community out there. And I will be honest with you. And this is a big topic of discussion last summer, because I was getting a little concerned about the quality of our community, and we made some changes. And some people, we've actually decided not to renew people in the past because of the fact that they were poisonous to our ecosystem. And we had a big discussion about this last summer, because of the fact that we wanted to put more emphasis on it. And me personally, I think that too many groups out there are focused too much on community and allowing the community to be the value that you pay for. Me personally, I think that when someone pays $15,000 to join our mentorship program, not to sound self-centered, but I think that they're paying for us.
Yeah.
I think they're paying for you and I, because anybody can find education on the internet now, right? But I do also see a lot of value, and I didn't in the beginning, in the community that we created. It wasn't until we created the community that I actually saw the value in it. It's you guys. It's the people that are part of our AI Masters that are actually bringing more value for others that are joining. And we appreciate that. We appreciate you adding value to our mentorship program. But, you know, Josh's comment about, you know, the REI Masters community, you know, and having like-minded individuals and how wonderful and powerful it is. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love seeing the Red Deer posse, the deep fried pickle posse. There's a community of our students that are in Red Deer, and they are all like best friends, and they're always hanging out together. And there's a great community in Edmonton as well. And I love that. I love the fact that, you know, they came here on their own, by themselves, not knowing anything, scared, having been discouraged by friends and family, not knowing anyone, not, you know, having anyone to talk to about this kind of stuff. And then they met other people that were just like them, and they created friendships. And now those people are the ones that are patting them on the back, that are giving them high fives, that are, you know, playing with the noisemakers when they get a deal. You know what I mean? Having those cheerleaders in your life is just so incredibly powerful and meaningful. You have no idea. You have no idea unless you've experienced the opposite. Mm. You have no idea unless you've been excited about real estate investing, excited about growing and becoming a better version of yourself, and then somebody impeding on that. Everybody that you love and that you trust impeding on that. You need a community. Yeah. You need a community of like-minded, supportive people. When you say, hey, I'm going to go, and I had this really cool idea because I heard about it on the podcast. Maybe this is a really cool idea that you guys are going to run with today. Maybe another golden nugget for you guys. What I think that you guys should do is you guys should learn how to find and source off-market deals where the seller will provide financing for you. The seller will carry the mortgage, and they'll allow you to take over the property for little to no money down, let's say zero money down. So they give you a property for zero money down. They'll carry the financing for you for 7 years. So you get a property for free, okay? And then you have 7 years to close on in the future. But in the meantime, what you're going to do is you're going to go find a tenant buyer. A tenant buyer is someone who's looking to buy a home, but they don't have the down payment or the credit yet. So they're going to rent it off of you with the right and the option to purchase it in the future at a higher price. So you're going to get a property for zero down, and then somebody else is going to come in and they're going to move into the property and they're going to purchase it at a later date.
What's happening right now?
This is exciting because this is what's called it's called creative combinations. And I can teach you that stuff too. We're talking about creative combinations, seller financing. So you're going to buy a property by way of seller financing agreement for sale, and then you're going to sell it by way of seller financing through a rent to own. It's called a sandwich. It's like peanut butter and jam. It's amazing. I love it. And then what happens is at the end of the 7 years, the rent to own tenant buyer buys it off of you. They send the money to you. You send the money to the seller financing seller. And then you make $100,000 to $200,000 without having to put any money in. So you hear about that today and you're like, holy shit, I didn't know that was possible. I've done those deals. Those are my favorites.
As you can tell by how fast he talked.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to waste too much of the show. We got 5 minutes left. But I've done deals like that, and I love teaching that to people. And actually, I just saw one of our previous students, they want to join the mentorship program again. They left, they didn't renew, but now they're thinking about renewing. And he just sent me a message right now, and he was asking about something similar to that. So it got me thinking about it. But he's excited about that, right? And I just imagine that's the first time you heard that, and you're excited about it. Who do you want to share that with? Oh my God, I heard in this podcast about this really cool strategy I've never heard before.
Your husband or wife?
So you go and you tell your wife, and your wife's like, I don't know, hon. What happens if they change their mind? Is that the person you want to go to? No offense, you love your wife. But is that the person you want to go to? Or do you want to go to your friend in the community who also has never heard of this before, and you explain this to them, they're like, holy shit, dude. Dude, we got to do that. Dude, when's the next course? Okay, we need to figure out how to do this right now, and we need to do 100 of those. Can you imagine if we could build up our whole portfolio without having to put any money down and no mortgages? And then the tenant buyer would move into the property for the whole 7 years, paying rent plus additional option payments, and then there'd be no vacancy. There'd be no repairs and maintenance because they're responsible for the repairs and maintenance. And you have a guaranteed buyer with a guaranteed price in 7 years. It's like, oh my God, man, we got to do this. Yo, let's go take a course. Let's split it 50-50. Let's do it. Are we doing this? Because if I'm in on this, I want to know you're 100% in on this. I'm in on this, bro. Okay, we got to do this. You ever had moments like that? You ever had moments like that where you and your best buddy, maybe it hasn't happened since you were a teenager because life has just been punching you in the nads ever since you grew up, since you became an adult. But remember those moments when we were teenagers and we'd be sitting in the basement and we had this really fucking cool idea and your super supportive friend was on board with it? That's what you need in your life.
Yeah.
You need those people. We got to get back to doing that again. It's been 20 years for most of you guys, maybe 40 years since you've experienced something like that.
Yeah.
Someone who had a really cool idea with you and they were on board and it was ride or die. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Right? The joy and excitement that I'm feeling right now, I'm experiencing it. That excitement is what's going to propel you to do the things you need to do every day. The reason why you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing every day is because you don't have that. What you have is a whole lot of negative fucking Nancys that are shitting on your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And you run up to a friend, someone that you love, someone that supports you, and you share your amazing idea or what you heard with them, and the first thing they say is that it won't work. Takes you from here to fucking here.
And then you have to build yourself back up.
It's
right?
tough to get from down here back up here again.
Yeah. When somebody tells you that's dumb or that's too risky or
because you
haven't thought it through. Yeah.
Internally, subconsciously, you start questioning yourself.
Yeah. And doubting yourself.
And that, you know what? A lot of things can go wrong. And there are tons of things that you still need to figure out. I'm sorry, you can't go find agreement for sale deals today. Yeah. You don't know. And there are a million things, landmines, roadblocks, and things that I need to teach you about, legal considerations, contract stuff, things that you need to do to protect yourself.
Legitimate risks. They are out there. And I will teach you those things. Yeah.
I know the answer to every single thing possible. What I need you to do is believe in yourself first, though. And you will never, ever, ever get a deal like that unless you believe in yourself and you surround yourself with people who are going to cheer you on. So here's the deal. Some people, you can throw a finger condom on it. Okay? Some people, unfortunately, you're going to need to cut out of your life.
Yeah. And I think that this is a natural progression with growth. And what you'll find as you grow as a person is that you're going to have some friends and family who support you and who cheer you on and who say, you can do this, you got this, I believe in you. You're going to have some who become indifferent and, maybe they have a negative thing to say here and there. Maybe they're kind of supportive. Maybe they're just like, yeah, whatever, do your thing. And then you're going to have some people who actively resent your growth and who will try to stop you from succeeding.
Yeah.
And those people, like Wayne, those of you on the live
video
stream here saw Wayne with his scissor hands. We can call him Edward. You need to cut them out.
That's just the nature of it, David Suzuki.
If they are actively resenting you growing as a human being, why do you want them in your life?
Mm-hmm. That's just the nature of things. It is what it is. We can sit here and we can complain about it. We can sit here and we can cry about it, or we can actually do something about it. And if you tried everything, then at some point you're going to have to make the tough decision. And sometimes that decision can be as dramatic as loading up a U-Haul and moving across the country. That's what I had to do. Mm-hmm. I cut everything. I cut the entire umbilical cord. There was nothing left. I loaded up a U-Haul and I left. And I said, I'm going to do this myself. And I'm going to create something better. I'm going to surround myself with different people. I need a fresh start. That's cutting off your arm.
Yeah.
Right there. And some people aren't willing to do that. Some people are. It's entirely up to you. I mean, how bad do you want it?
Mm-hmm.
How bad do you want a better life? Are you going to allow other people's feelings and things that other people say dictate the direction of your life? fuck me. I don't know how old you are, but you ain't got that much time left.
Nobody does.
It sounds fucking ridiculous when you think about it, to allow somebody else's feelings and thoughts and beliefs to control and dictate the direction of your life. I'm sorry. I don't care what blood they have running through their veins. They are not that important. So you know what? You cut them out. If it's that bad, you cut them out. You stop talking with them. You block them on your socials. You block them on your phone. You do not go see them. You do not talk to them. And you go and you put your fucking nose down and you get to work. You do what you need to do. And you know what? You probably have been avoiding this for a few years, so you might actually have to do a little bit of catch-up work too. Not only do you have to do the work that you need to do right now, but you probably got to do some catch-up work as well. So it's going to be some hard work. But when you get through it, what you can do is you can, and you do the work that you need to do and you build it, there is one last chance for those individuals. You can give them one last chance. What you can do is you can resurface as you, new, reborn, the new version of you, the phoenix rising from the ashes, and you can present yourself back again and see, do they accept you for who you are? Do they accept you for what you've done? It's not an I told you so. It is definitely not an I told you so. Do not come in the room like fucking Conor McGregor, waving your arms around like you own this place. You can resurface again, rise again, and see how they react. If they react in a way that's supportive and something that you can endure or something that you can live with, someone that deserves to be in your life, then you can accept them and move forward from that day as day one. If they do not, then you can turn your shoulder and completely eliminate them from your life. Because if they're not going to serve you, if they're not going to support you, and they're not going to be someone that you want to have around in your life, in your new life, in the new direction that you're going, then they don't deserve to be there. Plain and simple. It is a blessing to be a part of your life. And I think that that's the perspective that you need to have. It is a blessing to be in my life. It is a blessing to be around me. It is a gift. I know how amazing I am. I believe in myself. I know Gabby knows how amazing she is. She understands her worth and what she provides and what she can provide for others, right? And I think that you guys know that you're amazing as well. And it is a gift to be around you. If someone doesn't value that gift, if they take you for granted and they're just kind of floating around you, they don't deserve to be there. They don't deserve you. And there's lots of people in the world that I think would give you credit and would see the value that you provide in being in your proximity, being in your circle, being next to you, experiencing life with you. I think you need to give yourself a little bit more credit in the value that you carry. That wraps up today's show, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. You guys want to further this discussion, feel free to let us know. Join us tomorrow on Thursday. Send us an email. Anything you guys want us to cover. Real estate related, personal development related, I guess, too. If there's anything that's preventing you from being able to do the things that you need to do to create the life that you want to live, let us know. We're here to help.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a great day.
Thanks for listening. Want to be coached personally by Wayne and Gabby? Then you should join the Real Estate Investing Masters Mentorship Program. Details are in the show notes to get started.